Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Amazing Spider-Man Gang War First Strike Issue 1, 2023. Ooh, and that's a pretty good looking cover, and it's pretty much what kind of starts going off at the end of this. So, this is a one-shot. It is $5.99. I enjoyed this one because I like the art. I kind of liked all the pieces getting more set up into place, but I can totally understand if people want to skip this one. I think that the art's kind of worth it. I really like how Spidey's done in it and the kind of action that we get. We get some reveals and everything, though granted if you've looked at the solicitations, that kind of stuff will spoil it for you. But I liked going through and seeing kind of what's kind of set up, what's kind of going on. I think that this could have just pretty much been in the regular Amazing Spider-Man. Like, there could have just been an issue that kind of dealt with this. See, I like this and I enjoyed this one. I don't think I got completely screwed out of my money or whatnot, but I think that this should have just been in the actual Amazing Spider-Man issue, because then you've got people that have to actively seek it out, and that kind of messes with it, and messes with how people can go for it. So I wanted to bring that up and let people know, like, you pretty much could skip this. I don't know what the effect will kind of have. I'll pretty much learn that next week when the Amazing Spider-Man issue comes out. But it's kind of stuff that we kind of already would probably kind of figure out. Though there were some kind of surprises. So let's kind of get into it as we see that, like, we got a really cool kind of page that details kind of like all of the different kind of territories as we're at Arthur Avenue, the Bronx, as people are like, who the fuck's going after my territories and shit? As like, who ran this one out of Red Hook? And that the one dude's partnered with AIM, that you might want to look north to Harlem. And we see that Shang-Chi's involved. Mr. Negative's like, where the fuck is he here? What's going on with Harlem? I don't have time for Red Hook. Madam Mask is dead, and I've got plans for her territory. Anybody got something to say about that? Hail Hydra. It's like, what the fuck? That's what your new friends say, ain't it? Or did you think your little partnership flew under my radar? Pretty suspicious, Madam Mask getting off just in time for you to expand. You better hope her pops don't share the same suspicions. Captain Nefaria knows I would never make a move like that. I play fair. In that spirit, I'm going to give up my claim to Tombstone's spot. And then someone else wants it. But we see Hammerhead's trying to hold everything kind of together. I can understand why the art would be a little bit weird, because Hammerhead's head is like even kind of bigger than usual. And we've got his arm candy hanging on to him. Make sure you take note of her. But of course they're trying to figure out what to do with Harlem and Tombstone stuff, as we see Rabbit pop it with Janice. Rabbit's like to Hammerhead, you look like you put your head out in an ashtray. That's the whole message. Aren't you supposed to keep an eye on Tombstone's girl? She is. You don't have any business here, Janice. Your father's seat is currently empty. Let me fix that for you. There. As she sits, and it's like, okay. And they're like, you don't get a seat like that. It's got to be earned. And she's like, I'm not letting you vultures take my dad's territory. And then he's like, you know, I never thanked you for inviting me to your wedding. It's where I met what's-her-name here. You never did get that knot tied, did you? You still see that fiancé of yours, the Robertson kid? I'm not here to talk about my personal life, Hammerhead. Afraid you have to. You see, someone's trying to get superheroes legalized in New York City again, and we gotta stop him. You want a seat at the table? You gotta take care of him for us, and what that means is you gotta kill Randy Robertson, as he's got his dramatic flourish. She's like, oh shit. And she's like, give me 24 hours, and while I'm gone, nobody touch that fucking seat. It's like, yeah. Now, granted, I actually really like her color scheme with her suit ensemble. It really fits with her supervillain kind of persona, so I always appreciate that. So we change it up, and we see that Spidey is going after Slide, I think. You sure you don't just want to give up? And we're the fun being that Spider-Man. Come on, Slide. Don't you have better things to do than waste the Spider-Man's time? As he tries to grab him, he's like, Spider-Man? What the fuck? He's like, we're a 2-for-1 kind of deal. Seriously? Now this is kind of just a fun little one, as they're able to, like, kind of get at him. He's like, catch as catch can, Spider-Man nerds. You have a catchphrase now? You're better than this. I'm really not. Sorry, man, but I just do not have the time for this today. The hell kind of spider makes a sword? As Miles is able to make a sword out of, like, his bioelectricity, which is pretty fucking awesome, and I did not know about that. And he just slams down, and even Pete's like, I didn't know you could do that. Lots changed since I've been gone, huh? Yeah, man, it really has. Guess that's what happens when you ghost folks. Hey, wait a minute. Nah, I'm going to do the talking right now. You had plenty of time to reach out and never did. Come on, it wasn't that simple. Yeah, it really was. You're not the only person going through things, man. It would have been nice to... Look, I wasn't trying to do this. Running into you should have been nice, but man, you've made being your friend really difficult, my guy. I had a nickel for every time I've heard that. What is this, Pete? For real? You left us for 6 months, man. You left me. I had to step up to be the Spider-Man you apparently were too busy to be, Pete. And it sucked. It really fucking sucked. I needed you, man, and you just disappeared, bro. I'm sorry. I let you down been making a habit of saying that a lot these past weeks. But it's true. Yeah, well, don't just apologize to me. It's the folks of the city who will have to pay. Miles, you know how I know? Because I spent all afternoon with Misty Knight, Mayor Cage, and Randy Robertson trying to figure out how to make it legal for us to protect this city again. It's like, yep, Pete might have had stuff going on, but he could have at least talked to Miles. That's good call out. They tried to reach out a few times, but I kind of blew them off. Another thing I'm not exactly proud of. Yeah, because you shouldn't be. I can't believe I'm the one who's got to remind you of this, but it seems like you forgot. With great power, there must also come great responsibility. Feel like you could do well to remember that. Man, haven't had my butt kicked like that in a while. Thank you, Miles, Spider-Man. You're absolutely right. Word. If you want me, you know where to find me. I do. And it's like, alright. Got a nice Miles Spidey pose. So then we get to Gracie Mansion, as we see Luke dealing with certain kind of stuff, talking to Randy Robertson. Give me some good news, Mr. Mayor. He's saying that he wish he could, but none of it means a thing if I can't force a vote. I'm talking to a group of repeal supporters. I want to give them hope. You tell them to keep the faith. Wait, is that what all that ruckus is? How many supporters are we talking about? I don't know. All of them? As we see Randy with that kind of funny face on. Them chanting that Fisk's Law is stupid past its prime. Kingpin should have stuck to crime. We see that Hammerhead's like, yeah, they're making all that kind of noise to his arm candy. And of course they need to find the one making the most noise, as he's pretty much trying to make a post about, like, getting the superheroes back up. These people are only brave because they don't think brave has a cost. It's like, yeah, and you think you're the smartest one in the room, and that kind of leads to some nuts shit. My job is to show them they're wrong. You're done, Randy. Janice? As she comes in and pretty much threatens him. It's like, ah, shit. But she does it kind of crazily. Like, she slams him against the wall. He's bleeding and stuff. No, not tonight. You should have stayed out of this. You came to scare me. I ran out of scared watching my parents dodge bullets at our wedding. Poor little Randy, almost married a thug, a murderer like my father. Is that what you think I am? It's like, Jesus, he didn't, like... I understand that she's under a lot of shit because her father's pretty much in a bad situation and everything. The wedding got fucked up. It's like... And he's like, no, I don't. But I bet whoever sent you does. It ain't right, asking her to kill her boyfriend. No, it ain't. It's a takes a cold soul to do that. Don't worry yourself out of a job tonight. She ain't gonna do a thing. She may think she's a killer, but she's not. I know it, and now she does too, as we see her stop. So you're not whacking him? Ha ha ha. I never said that. And then we see that she's crying, telling him that he's gotta go, that he's gotta leave the state. There he is, and then we see that he's sent another force after, and that's how Hammerhead kinda does it. Should have kept your mouth shut, Robertson. Randy, look out. And he goes to try and protect her. And gets injured. Of course, we see that Pete checks in with Luke. And he's like, I want to help out. No, well, first he's like, I want to talk about Randy Robertson. And Luke's like, we'll do everything we can. That's what I'm here about. Randy's right. I've been sitting on the sidelines for too long. I need to be more proactive. I want to help. Help? No one told you? Told me what? And I love the shocked Spidey face there. It really gets that. And then we see that a nurse runs in and asks, Randy? I thought she saw him on like the list in the hospital, and we see that he's staying with Tombstone. But then they run off to go check on Randy as Janice is there with him and saying that she's sorry. He jumped in front of me. Please, she wants to help. Help? You don't put on that costume to help. Get out of here. Get the hell away from my son. He's losing blood. We've got to move him. And it's like, shit, we'll have to see how this kind of affects her and if she might, like, switch up and help Spidey with what's kind of going on. So then we pretty much see that Hammerhead's kind of basking and gloating, wondering why he kept the Madam Mask, that you don't get many trophies in his line of work, and that she doesn't like that she shot that kid. Huh, somebody asking? Now walk that pretty face of yours over here. People liked him is all I'm saying. Instead of scaring him, you might wake him up. You think you know anything? Let me ask you a question. Are you scared or are you awake? I don't know, Joey. I don't know. As he pretty much grabs her and hurts her and then throws her on the floor. What matters is you're on the ground and I'm not. And that's because I'm exactly as mean as I need to be. Interesting that he's tries to gauge how mean he needs to be on certain kind of instances. Which is why I'm in charge of that room of psychos back there. A room full of killers who want nothing more than to kill each other. Thing is, I'm the reason they want to ace each other in the first place. Then I give myself the job of keeping everyone from blowing up like grade A TNT. That's what you call job security. What are you doing back there? As we see that she goes to a certain kind of corner, pulls something out, and smacks the ever-loving fucking shit out of Hammerhead. Which is a hard thing because of how hard his head is. And that is just nuts. And just kind of like gruesome as we see blood spurt out of his nose like that. And she just smacks the shit out of him. And it's like, oh, this works out. I kind of had a feeling that this would be kind of like the Madam Mask scenario. I thought a little adamantium and magic would get through that thick skull of yours. It's actually a femur. I'll show you where I got it a little later, but for now, don't, as she pretty much takes him out. I can prop him up again if you want to take a few swings, as Janice is there. Who? What did you do? Same thing you were here to do. Just beat you to it. Sorry, I need to get changed. I saw you at my wedding. You were Hammerhead's date, yes, but I wasn't the hired hand. That was the poor soul I paid to play me. The one Joey went and blew up. You're Madam Mask? That's right. But he didn't know that, and he told me everything. Every blood feud he's stoked. Every gangland alliance he's turned to hatred. He set them all up. As we then see a really effective page of Madam Mask bloodied with her mask back on. And now it's time to knock them down. So, be careful when you screw with Madam Mask. I don't care about that. He had Randy Robertson shot. Oh, child, you are about to care very, very much. Let me tell you exactly what is going to happen. Word will spread that Hammerhead is gone. No one's territory is safe. The treaties he held together will fall. Moves will be made, seemingly out of fear. But don't be fooled. It is greed, opportunity for expansion, and opportunities bring opportunists. You're too young to remember the last land grab. It's thrilling, really, as we see her face and then all the different kind of panels as people are gearing up for war. Watching the sharks come out, and anyone who has a claim, past or present, as we see the Rose also in play as well. Kind of cool to see that back up. You want war. Sweet little Janice, don't you see? They all want war. I'm just going to give it to them. I'll give them so much they won't even notice when I start to take. It's like, yeah, that's the crazy shit. They all want that war as they're all getting together and everything going to shit. So we're at the McCarthy Medical Institute now. So that Spidey swings by. Robbie, I don't know what to say. You shouldn't be here. You should be out there. That's what he was fighting for. He was so convinced you all did more good than harm. Now I'm not so sure. Maybe I'm not either. No, you don't get to do that. He got shot for what he believed in, and that's a tragedy. But, and I know this better than anyone, it's also a story he might die for. Don't you dare waste it. You get out there and you show them he was right. Get out there and catch the people who did this. It's like, yeah, but then we see everything starting to go to shit. And I loved Spidey's determined look there. His understood. I'm like, yeah, Spidey, do it. But then we see booms, and what? As everything goes completely to hell. We see gang everywhere. Someone's attacking New York. No, not someone. Everyone. We see Shang-Chi in the fray. We see some hulked out motherfuckers. Everyone. It's war. God have mercy. I'm only going to say this once. Anyone comes after Harlem, I will destroy them. You better hurry, dear. They're already coming after Harlem. And I'll be there to claim what's left. Well then, I'll see you out there. As we see that she is instead going to defend her father's territory. Yes, you will. Shotgun, we're go. It's like, oh shit, what's Shotgun gonna do? So, she's the one connected there. That's what I'm telling you. There is no hot zone. The whole city is a hot zone. Mobilize everyone we've got. Even if we call in every officer we have, we don't have the manpower to, as we then see that Spidey webs up the door saying that they need to talk. Then talk. It's bad out there. Civilians are at risk. All of them. We need to put this fire out fast. What are you saying? I'm about to do a lot of superheroing and I don't want any distractions. I'll keep the police out of your way. Not my way, our way, because he needs help. And I'm glad that he's able to recognize that as he says, I need a team. As he's in a nice Spidey pose flying off, being like, Choo. And it's like, alright. To be continued in Amazing Spider-Man issue 39. And then, of course, this brings up all the rest of what's kind of going on, which ones are connected, and then there's a nice little thing that shows that we have Luke Cage Gang War 1, Spider-Woman 1, that was in November. December, we've got Amazing Spider-Man 39, and then some other kind of gang wars and everything. So, I'm mainly sticking to the Spidey ones. I like this. I really like the art style, actually. Joey Vasquez with Julian Shaw. I really liked how Spidey and all the rest of the characters were kind of done. Even though Hammerhead's one, sometimes his head, he looks even freakishly bigger than usual. Janice's look in her costume was really, really good. And Madame Mask getting back into her Madame Mask kind of self worked out well as well. And Luke Cage looked pretty good in this too, so I was not really that well versed with this artist. And everything worked out pretty well writing style-wise. Nobody felt off to me in this. As we had Zeb Wells with Cody Ziegler as the writers and everything. This was a big beefy one. And oh, this issue is dedicated to Shari Ann Myers, 1963 to 2023. I didn't know that. But even though I enjoyed this, I think this should have just been in The Amazing Spider-Man. And that it should have just been an Amazing Spider-Man event, bringing in other characters. I think it is a little bit too spread out and doing all the different... Well, if anything, link it up with The Amazing Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man. And maybe have seeds threaded out throughout the other kind of heroes' ongoing stories if it doesn't adversely impact them. Because I don't want it to adversely impact the other ones. If there's a call out here or there, a nice kind of value add of like, oh, okay, if I wanted to look into this gang war thing, I could go to The Amazing Spider-Man and get to it. This shotgun kind of approach, I don't think is going to work very well, because I could definitely see people being like, this is $5.99, it should have just already been in the other Amazing Spider-Mans, which have been bumping up to $4.99 as twice a month, and that's going to get to some economies of scale that really won't work out for some people, and I completely understand that. I always want to bring that up with pricing and everything so people know what they're paying and what they're getting. Now, I like the story, I like the characters, and I like the artwork here. But, even with all that said, I still think that this should have been within The Amazing Spider-Man. And that we're going to get a lot of stuff spread out through various different comics and everything that really shouldn't need to be done. I think this would have just been a nice self-contained event arc within The Amazing Spider-Man that has value add of working into other kind of comics. Any kind of main one would potentially be Miles Morales, Daredevil, and then kind of filtering out throughout there, since those would be the main New York ones. Some stuff going on potentially with She-Hulk and every other kind of ones that are kind of drawn in here, Shang-Chi and all that. But those are my opinions on how that kind of works out, and I would like to hear other stuff as well. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.